This is Renee Collins
and Rachel Crowe,
and welcome to Overtones.
Well, your mountains are my home, and my heart can never roam. 'Cause the grass is greener when it's blue, and when that fog settles down on this East Kentucky town, just know my heart's right here with you. Well, Kentucky, you will always be my home. I come back to you no matter where I roam. When they lay my body down in that East Kentucky ground, well, I'll rest easy in that old mountain town.
Welcome, everyone. You are listening to the 43rd broadcast of Overtones on WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington Community Radio. We are coming to you from the beautiful and historic Lyric Theater in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky. I am Renee Collins, your host, and this week I am joined today by Lexington Music T.D. Young Blues Award winner in 2019, the lovely and talented Rachel Crowe. Let's welcome Rachel to the show, everyone. We have just listened to the sounds of Pikeville, Kentucky's Beck and the Starlight Revue's original song, Kentucky, our theme song for this brand new year of 2019. And Rachel, the theme today is Singing Between the Lines. Beck and the Starlight Revue are just an example of some of these amazing musicians in Kentucky who do this so incredibly well with their original music, and they are giving us more opportunities to listen locally than ever before. And today's show is no exception with the songwriters who will be joining us today. But Rachel, let's catch up with you first. Talk to us about what it meant to you to take the stage at the Lexington Music Awards and then take it a second time to receive the Blues Award later that night. You had some nice things to say about T.D. Young. And talk to us about the significance of winning that award this past January.
Well, TD is extremely significant in the blues community. You can go down to Memphis. I go down to IBC every year, hang out on Bill Street, sing in a couple of clubs, and then he walks in and they're like, "Do you know who that is?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do," because he's from my hometown. Well, quasi hometown. I have many hometowns.
Yes.
It's wherever my tribe's at. But he has a wonderful bar here, basically a stone's throw from the Lyric Theater.
Yes.
And on Monday nights, he has basically an open jam. And it's an opportunity for people to come up and show that they have a capability of the blues. It's not something that is extremely cultivated here, because it's not, Kentucky is not just it's not a blues, it's a bluegrass state. It's not a blues state. But in the grand scheme of things, like reading between the lines, we're blues, country, bluegrass, we're all kissing cousins. It's all, kind of the same thing. It's just how much twang you want to put on the end of everything. So he has been extremely nice to me throughout the years, and was actually nominated a couple of years ago for a Blues Award with TD. And I mean, it's just kind of like one of them hats off type things. It's like, I'm just excited to even be nominated in the same category as him, and because he is tremendous. I mean, just a wonderful person, an extremely good musician. His band is incredible. He is really, really honed in on what it is supposed to sound like, and those boys know how to take care of business. They are amazing. And but anyway, winning it was silly. I mean, it was gobsmacking. I was talking to Jonathan New, who's my slide guitar player, and he'll play a little later today, and I was like, what in the world? I was just happy to be on stage and even playing in front of a crowd. That was what I wanted to do. But to win that, that's like a bucket list type thing, because that's such an honor to win his award, because he absolutely deserves that so much. And just to, like I said, just to even have my name even associated with that man is like, whoo, I'm fangirl bad. I was telling the boys that when they were coming in. I was like, I'm fangirling out. Don't think I'm creepy, but like I just love music so much, and I love all genres of music, and I love when it's really good and when they put their heart and soul into it. So yeah, it was an incredible evening. I was tore up like a soup sandwich. I tell you that. I was nervous.
And speaking of really good, that's exactly what you were when you took the stage.
Thank you.
What did that mean to you? And you were so well received and so well appreciated.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, I'm used to singing in dirty bars, and where it's all
quite
like
a different experience.
It's a different experience, and then just doing my own solo things and acoustic songwriting, just my acoustic sets and stuff like that. It's helped with that nerve endings. For that kind of stuff. But like, everybody was on their best behavior because we're at an award show and we're all dressed up, and so it was real quiet. But I mean, John killed that solo, and they started clapping in the middle of it, and I was like, I think we got this. I think
Yes.
it's gonna be okay, boys.
I need help, a little remedy. No, I got a problem and who's against me. No, baby, please, let's set free. Love, I could run now, baby. No, I never will, but I can't wait you, let you,
we go all over the tri-state area and play blues music in blues clubs, but just to come home and have that recognition at home is something that I don't think that we've ever really received. And so to have that here in Lexington is something, I mean, that's so special to us that, it makes us feel really good about what we're doing, and that we are on the right track and that we are doing the right things and trying to be positive vibes, positive music, and let's try to do the best that we can every time that we go out. And so it means so much.
Aside from those two moments, what did you most enjoy about the evening, and who did you enjoy seeing?
I mean, all the performers were great. The girl that played the
Xylophone?
The xylophone.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic.
Oh, my gosh. Well, like, Kenny and I and John were in the backstage, and she came back, and, like, we all, like, geeked out over her. I mean, she looks like Joan Jett and has this amazing ethereal voice that comes out, and she's playing the xylophone and all, just, I mean, amazing. And, of course, Taylor was amazing, too, and she got 2 awards that night.
Yes, she did.
And, I mean, she always is amazing. I mean, she's always on point on what she does. I mean, what can I say? And I know that the Twig and Berries have played several years, but the house band, amazing.
They were incredible.
They were incredible. And those chick singers,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, handling business, bad to the bone. They were so good. Like, I was bragging on them so much. Ray's Music Shop.
Yes.
They were incredible.
Yeah, they
Incredible.
were. Kept everything moving, and I just thought the whole night just went by way too fast.
Walking down the aisle, because I was in the cheap seats, because, like, I'm one of those people that procrastinates to get my ticket, and I'm walking down the aisle, and they are, like, getting down. I was like, phew, I got
on my high heels.
I got my theme music on, and girl, I put on a dress.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, the guys from Darkman Hollow were like, Brett and Laura were there, and they were just like, you were in a dress? And I was like, that was my Halloween costume. You're a girl.
It was her Halloween costume.
It was my Halloween costume.
And it was just absolutely beautiful.
And I was
so pretty, so beautiful. Everything about you, Rachel, is so genuine and authentic. And we are just so happy for you.
Thank you.
This is
And I mean,
awesome.
I said it in my speech, and I'll say it again. You and Warren and the Twisted Cord family have been amazing to me and amazing to my boys here in Lexington. John New and Kenny, David Howard, and Ralph Pinto, because those are the guys in my band. There's my beardos. And without that kind of encouragement, it's like, yeah, I think it sounds great. Why don't you do this? Why don't you? Without that encouragement, that I don't know that it would have happened.
My sweet, sweet little baby, love him like no other gonna give him even what he wanna know. Love him like a woman on her own. Sweet little baby, yeah. Sweet little baby, oh, sweet little baby, don't need no love in a winter. Got me, yes, he love her, gonna keep me hot like a summer. Sweet little baby, yeah. Sweet little baby, oh, sweet little baby, gonna get him all that he's craving, gonna eat him up just like hunger, gonna serve him up just like supper. Sweet little baby, yeah. Sweet little baby, yeah. Pick me a bouquet of flowers, got a gold ring for my left hand. Gonna change my name. Sweet little baby, yeah. Sweet little baby, oh, sweet little baby. Gonna love you as long as I'm ever been. The oak trees, let all stand until it put me under the granite. Sweet little baby, yeah, yeah. Sweet little baby, oh, sweet little baby, yeah. Sweet little baby, oh, sweet little baby, yeah. Sweet little baby, yeah.
I try really hard to be encouraging to other
Yes,
people.
you do. Yes, you do.
And I was telling, several people, I've got what I call my little lost boys, or my little boys I keep like coming with me, and now I've got girls, and I was like, we're just gonna have to start calling y'all something else because they're like, where do I go? What do I do? And I'm like, you start here, and this is where you go, and you go home, and you take care of it, and you write songs. Take care of your sore throat. Go write a song. And that's what we have to do, because it's every day you have to cultivate your craft, and every day you have to get better about it. And so just taking that pay it forward that you all gave to me, and the people that I play with, my beardos, I mean, I could never repay it, and this is the only way I know how. So.
Yes, and I know Mama Sue had said, they didn't win anything that night. I said, yes, you did, because look at all of the stars that were on that stage that evening that have had their origins and starts as Twisted Cork. And I'm just, all in all, that's what's most important. And by the way, they got the most applause of anybody. Anytime the Twisted Cork was mentioned, the crowd was just breaking out into applause.
I'll tell you what, Mama Sue and Prentice and Whitney and Ray are amazing. They are so encouraging and so nice. And I tell you what, Mama Sue tries to set me up with somebody every time I go in there. And I love it. Thank you, Mama Sue, for being, my dating app at the Twisted Cork. I appreciate it.
That's a 24/7 job for her, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know. She takes care of me. She's like, what about that one? I'm like, well, okay, we'll see what happens.
What really goes on at the Cork, right?
Yeah, she's
episode of The Bachelor.
Let's get you a gig. Let's get you signed up to play, and then what about that one? I'm like,
well, Rachel, we're so glad you're here. And in essence, these kinds of happenings are exactly why we've gathered all of you all here today to contribute to and listen to this rich, vibrant musical explosion of talent that is happening right now in the state of Kentucky and in this awesome city of Lexington. And Rachel, how excited are we both today about this outstanding lineup for this special edition of Overtones, appropriately titled Singing Between the Lines?
I'm going to tell you what, these guys that you've got in here are my all-time favorites.
Yeah, we're just getting everybody seated here. And
Cody Lee's become a little brother to me. I think so highly of him. I remember seeing him for the first time in Somerset and him walking in, and I was like, what is that circus? And he got up and he played, and I was like, oh, that's silly. And then he started coming around playing his original stuff, and we were at a listen locally thing in Somerset, and I was with Kevin Dalton, and we were sitting there, and he played a song that he wrote about his grandmother, and I had to get up and leave because it was... He's amazing. I can't say enough about him.
I think we're going to get to hear that song today, right?
I suppose.
Oh, awesome. So Rachel and I are welcoming guests today who have a broad range of musical artistry and significant contribution to the local music scene here in Lexington and beyond. And we are going to hear them sing their songs and share some of the stories that they're sharing with this community. And today we are honoring the music from Somerset, Kentucky with some very special guests. So without further ado, here is your Kentucky Overtones starting lineup. First up, from Somerset, Kentucky, Cody Lee Meece.
Hey, hey.
From Somerset, Kentucky, Jonathan New. From Somerset, Kentucky, Pearlie Jenkins. And also from Somerset, Kentucky, Donovan Howard. And we're going to start this all off today with a musical offering from Cody Lee Meece, everyone. Let's welcome him to Overtones.
Thank you.
Cody, this is your first time to Overtones, but you are no stranger to the Kentucky music scene. How are you doing, and what have you been doing lately?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been working a lot and not sleeping and playing music. Pretty much just living an unhealthy yet fulfilled life.
Well, wonderful. And we're going to be talking with you much more later in the show. But what do you have for our listening audience today to enjoy in this opening ceremony of Overtones episode 43, Singing Between the Lines?
I'm going to offer up a song I wrote about 2 weeks ago. The working title right now is Six in One Hand, Half Dozen in the Other.
Okay, wonderful. Let's give it up for Cody Lee Meece, everyone.
I hear baby sister calling me home, but I ain't got the dough to go no more. I guess I just stay on the road and keep running down broken dreams. Yeah, cheeseburger dinners bought by the sack, cockroaches in a rundown shack. I've been pushing this rig, but I feel I'm running out of steam. I used to wanna roll till the wheels fall off, cause a lot of trouble for Johnny Law. Ah, but the payoff didn't bring nothing but a little change, yeah. Should I listen to the devil? Should I listen to my mother? Six in one hand, half dozen in the other. Walking either damn line, shoulder, drive a man plumb insane. I've had a whole lot of let-me-downs. I once was lost, but I never been found. And it really makes me wonder if the Lord's even looking for me, yeah. And I once had dreams to fly, but I cut off my wings and I kissed them goodbye. It's not who you know, it's all in who you want to deceive. I used to want to roll till the wheels fall off, cause a lot of trouble for Johnny Law. Ah, but the payoff didn't bring nothing but a little change, yeah. Should I listen to the devil? Should I listen to my mother? Six in one hand, half dozen in the other. Walking either damn line or shoulder, drag a man down in flames. On the road till the wheels fall off, cause a lot of trouble for Johnny Law. Ah, but the payoff didn't bring nothing but a little change, yeah. Should I listen to the devil? Should I listen to my mother? Six in one hand, half dozen in the other. Walking either damn line, shoulder, drive a man half insane. Yeah, walking either damn line, shoulder, drag a man down in flames.
Wow. So was this possibly a premiere of that song?
Yeah, it's not really been out there much. I think I've maybe played it out twice. So.
Well, I sure do like that. That was fantastic. So thank you so much. We're going to hear more from Cody later in the show, but for now, stick around as we will be back with Somerset, Kentucky's, and also one of the Beardos in Rachel Crowe's band, the great Jonathan New, after these messages.
In my travels, where I roam, there's no place like the roads and hills I know. When I am home, I'll be found resting on my Kentucky ground. When I wake in the morning and my feet hit the floor, heaven awaits just outside my door. I breathe in beauty abound, springing up from my Kentucky ground. You ain't lived till you laid under a bluegrass starry sky. You ain't clean till by Kentucky waters you've been baptized. Bluegrass roots, any storm of life where you can withstand. The hills and trees, the folk and the life make me the man I am. In my travels, where I roam, there's no place like my old Kentucky home. Come what may, I'll be found standing firm on my Kentucky ground. When I'm called home, lay me down, lay me back down in that Kentucky ground. Thank you.
We are back, and you have just heard the beautiful music of Jonathan New. Let's welcome Jonathan to the show, everyone.
Muchas gracias.
Hello, Jonathan New. What's
Hello,
going
Rachel
on?
Crowe.
So, did you just write that song, or is that pulled out of the vault? Because I don't think I've heard it before.
that was from the vault.
That's from the vault. Okay, so
Yeah.
are you going to let us know what the name of that song is?
Kentucky Ground. I wrote that, I don't know. I didn't have a beard at the time, I remember. So that's been some years ago.
That's why it's so pretty.
Yeah.
That's how we gauge time around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't so grizzled then.
Well, it's beautiful.
That's on my only solo album that I got called My Guitar Night. Yeah. So you can listen to that tune on Reverb Nation for sure.
Oh, I saw where you
I really
posted
like it.
that,
Yeah.
where you were like, I still have old tunes down there.
Yeah.
And I didn't look. I'm such a bad friend.
No, it's okay.
Well, I guess we can do that since I see you like on a daily basis.
I wrote that tune because you know, I've been not everywhere, but I've been to a few places, and I feel like Kentucky is the most beautiful place on the planet.
I have to agree with
I
that.
agree with that.
Okay.
Amen.
So, well, I know you play in a band with me,
Yes.
and I know that. I mean, I know this. You keep
Yeah.
showing up.
Yeah. You
and-
keep paying me to do it.
We keep writing music together. I don't know what's all that's about, but and then you do your solo. So, and I know that like everybody asks everybody. I think musicians have a weird time with this question, but it's like, what is the lead into your musical career? Like, what were your big influences?
Let's see. Gospel music in church was what I started on, of course, with my dad being a minister, and then the first time I heard Stevie Ray Vaughan play, that was a very monumental moment in my life. It's like, whoa, I want to do that. And then after so long, you figure out I can't do that. Nobody else can either. But I'm gonna keep trying.
I don't know. I think you did a really good job.
And then whenever I
heard Georgia on a Fast Train by Billy Joe Shaver, and I was introduced to my favorite songwriter ever, Billy Joe Shaver.
Is he on your guitar?
Yep, and he signed my guitar.
Oh, wow. Well, I see a lot of heads nodding over here as well.
Yeah.
So I know you have a song called Queen City Blues, and that's my favorite that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you were on the road when you wrote that song, and you're missing Miss L.
Yeah.
And which we all do because she's such a wonderful. Happy birthday, girl.
Yeah.
She's such a wonderful lady to put up with you, and then vicariously put up with me and the other boys. But how do you go about writing your other songs? Like, what's your creative process inside view?
Sometimes I'll sit down at the guitar and scat a little bit. You know how people back in the jazz days, you pick up on some melodies with that. Sometimes it starts with the subject matter of a song. I'll hear sometimes it'll be a sad story or a funny story or what have you, and you're like, hey, I can make a song out of that, or that's too good of a story not for there to be a song about it, or too cool of a person for there not to be a tune about. So sometimes it's like that, and then sometimes it just hits, but it doesn't hit enough for me.
That's not true. I would just keep you busy.
Sometimes I write songs in the shower.
We have a shower right next door. I think you've heard. We could get at it right now.
So, what are you going to play for us next?
This next song's a song I wrote. I wrote it after the Wall Street bailout back in 2008. It's called They Killed Town Square. In between the paper's headlines, I read the little man must give. Never such a debt been paid in the towns in which we live. Wall Street was in trouble and needed someone to throw their bill. But if it were up to the little man, he could have stayed in jail. They killed Town Square. They killed Town Square. Moved up on Wall Street. No one seemed to care. Downtown is a graveyard, laying in despair. There's been a murder down on Main Street. They killed Town Square. Good folk were losing business and closing up their doors. An impossible feat to compete with Sam Walton's mega store. One nation under Walmart, it all seems unfair. One-stop shop killed mom and pops down on Town Square. They killed Town Square. They killed Town Square. They moved up on the highway and no one seemed to care. Downtown is a graveyard, laying in despair. There's been a murder down on Main Street. They killed Town Square. Downtown is a graveyard, laying in despair. There's been a murder down on Main Street. There's been a murder down on Main Street. There's been a murder down on Main Street. And they killed Town Square.
Yes. So Jonathan, new.
Rachel
As opposed
Crowe.
to Jonathan Old.
Yeah, Jonathan will never be old.
That's
He
true.
is young at
That
heart.
is true.
Definitely not you.
Such a wonderful. He's one of my favorite humans.
Yes.
A wonderful guy. So that was Killtown Square, right?
Yep.
It was beautiful.
Thank
I love
you.
it. It's a lot different than what we do.
Yeah, definitely.
we're going to unplug tonight, so that's
Yeah.
we're going to
Okay.
do an
That's
acoustic
awesome.
thing, so it'll be different. But what do you hope when you unplug or when you play in the full band? What do you hope that the audience gathers from what you're playing? Like, what experiences do you want them to walk away with?
Well, I hope we don't suck starting out.
That's
huh?
always plus.
So the goal's not to suck. It did. It just depends. Depends on the setting and the song. Like if you got to play it in a bar and stuff, you try to be entertaining, keep them entertained or on the dance floor. And if you're playing a showcase, try to mix it up a little. I'll try to do maybe a humorous song and then maybe a tearjerker and then maybe a story tune or whatever. So I hope people are entertained and maybe think, inspired to think about a situation a different way or a thing a different way, or maybe they'll understand my perspective about whatever, or, let your imagination run wild, I guess.
And I feel like that's a vehicle for most songwriters, is that they're trying to put their point of view across to other people, or maybe tap into an emotion that maybe has not been tapped into with their audience about
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, right on. Everybody's, songwriter's got a story to tell.
Yeah. and most of the time we can say our opinions and everybody don't get mad about it because we'll just
Yeah.
ease into it,
Yeah.
and it's got a pretty melody
Put
to it.
put it in a song and it might not be so offensive.
Yeah,
or
it just
whatever.
eases the offensiveness up to it. Okay, so I know that we talked about your influences like Billy Joe Schaefer and, of course, gospel music. And so, but who do you like listening to around here in the state of Kentucky?
I like listening to Cody Lee, Meece, and Pearlie Jenkins and Donovan Howard.
I
Good
mean, right
answer.
on.
Good answer.
That's excellent. I mean,
Number one answer.
it
Yeah.
is.
I agree with that.
Now, this is a Somerset show,
Yeah.
but like that's also my hometown.
Yeah.
I mean, I live where my tribe is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, like, all these boys, like, I
We adopted her
fangirl.
in.
Yeah, I fangirl out. And, like, sometimes, like, I'll get into the show early and have to go to, like, Walmart or something. And they're like, girl, I ain't seen you out in forever. And I was like, because I don't live here. I live 2 hours away. I'm just down here a lot. Because I like going, I mean, I just travel 2 hours just to go see them play. If I'm not playing somewhere, I'm seeing somebody else's show. And so, yeah, all of you guys are amazing. And, where are your 3 favorite places to perform? I know that's like picking children.
Yes,
but
it is.
Twisted Court.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that place. I don't know. I've been really digging playing at Pat's here the last few times.
It's
We've
been
been having a
cool.
good time with the folk over in Manchester. And I like playing. Let's see. Where else have been? Really, I just like. It's always. I had a good time down at Grateful Head's Barbecue in Barberville the other
Yeah,
night.
that
If
looks
you're
like
in
a
that
cool
area,
spot.
If you're in that area, go in, check out the Grub, and they're good folk in that area. Yeah, Good stuff.
So a lot of cool places in Somerset to play.
Yeah.
Now you run an open mic on Tuesdays at Swooty's.
At Swooty's Pizza.
At Swooty's Pizza
In Somerset.
And then right next door to that's the Jarfly.
Jarfly. Down the street you got Friends.
And I mean they love singer-songwriter nights.
Down in Burnside they got Mugby's with my good buddy Taylor Davis.
I only get in trouble there. that spot is total trouble for me. I love it. It's my favorite to go down to, but I'm always in trouble when I go there. So, shut up. It happens there. For me, it's like my kryptonite. Well, yeah. Well, that's why I take Daddy with me so that I don't have to worry about it. Daddy takes me home. He was so mad at me, and I was like, he said it was a good show. But you are. And I'm like, it's all good.
We were playing, and it was before the third set, and Rachel come over and talked to me, and she walked off. I was like, she got a little slur to her, little giddy up there. Then we was getting into a couple of songs, and I looked, and I was like, couldn't hear her, and she's over here, like the mic was over here, and she's like, just singing away from it.
Because I knew I was trash.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, she's good going.
They asked me to play Janis Joplin the next night, and Janis Joplin is a $20 song, and they were like, the girls said, play Bobby McGee. I said, it's a $20 song, and then all the girls were like, it wasn't last night, and I said, I'm the one that wrote that check, and I cashed it.
She come over and told me she's wanting to do all these songs that she don't normally want to do, and I knew she was feeling good.
I was in bad shape. So, all right.
We'll
so
have to edit that out.
Yeah, all that. I'm sorry. So Somerset, I travel 2 hours to play with you all because I love you all dearly, my little beardos, and y'all got beards too, so we all just be honorary members.
The last show we had the Beardful Wonders.
Oh yeah, with Adam and Ben and Tyler
Simpson, yes, and Tyler Smith.
So I think that Somerset has a great communicative effort, but what do you think makes Somerset so special musically? I mean,
must be something in Lake Cumberland.
I have to. They bottle that water up and sell it because if you drink it and you'll be a great musician too.
We got really good supportive folk in Somerset, so that's where it all begins. Got to have an audience to play to.
Amen.
You know,
they come out too.
I like playing to a live audience and a radio audience better than I do the internet world, to the cyber audience. I like to actually hear them and see them.
That's true to say about Somerset because they always come out and listen to local musicians, and they are very supportive, and they share, they like, they post, they do a lot of things, and I know that they love you. I introduced John, the Reverend New, as the native son. The boys, these are your native sons, and I mean they go crazy over it. Yeah. So they are very special because of that. So what you got next, brother?
We got a song I wrote about Pearlie Jenkins.
Oh, nice!
Hey, I love it. This is a good segue into the next segment.
Cody play some of it too.
Cody's
okay, awesome.
This is going to be amazing.
Let's get set up.
Yeah, let's get to it. So, I was in this band once upon a time called Reverend John the Backsliders, and we were doing our thing. And anyways, our drummer comes to us. He said, "You guys got to check out this cat named Pearlie Jenkins." And I think this was even back in the days of MySpace.
It was.
Yeah, so that's been how long ago that's been. And so then he played me this song of his off the MySpace, and it's called "Sitting Around and Waiting for Opportunity to Knock." And I was like, how is it that I've not met this dude yet? And like that's one of the coolest things I ever heard. And so then we fast forward just a little bit past that, and then I get to finally meet Pearlie. We've been buddies ever since. And then comes to find out, he done some time down in Nashville, and I did a little time down in Nashville, but we never crossed paths while we were down there.
You weren't cellmates?
No, we weren't cellmates. So then after I found that out, I wrote a song about all that, about Pearlie, how we both went and done our thing in Nashville, and Nashville didn't want us.
Sounds wonderful. This is Jonathan New with Cody Meece, everyone.
When I was a young man, I wrote a few songs full of piss and dreams. Well, I thought Nashville's where I belong. playing out on the corners and got in guitar pulls. And what I learned, I'm one of millions. Nashville's full of bull. Fast forward some years later, in walked Pearlie Jenkins, and he had done the Nashville rounds the same as I'd done. He shopped his songs around the place where all the doors were locked. And now he sits in Boston waiting for opportunity to knock. If they don't want Pearlie Jenkins, then they don't want me, 'cause he's one of the best to ever write a song I've ever heard her sing. I wouldn't take all of Nashville's best for his broken guitar strings. Music City's a fine place and all, but ain't got a thing for me. Pick it, Cody. It is an injustice, it's plain wrong that the world is being robbed of hearing Pearlie Jenkins songs. Like it's entirely possible we're all gonna be alright. And for shizzle my nizzle, and good night Mr. Mayor, good night. Down there in Nashville, what they're all about is trying to make a dollar is all they care about. They keep putting out the music that all sounds the same. When we have a Kentucky treasure, Pearlie Jenkins is his name. If they don't want Pearlie Jenkins, then they don't want me, 'cause he's one of the best to ever write a song I've ever heard her sing. Wouldn't take all of Nashville's best for his broken guitar strings. Music City's a fine place and all, but ain't got a thing for me. I wouldn't take all of Nashville's best for his broken guitar string. Music City's a fine place and all, but ain't cool enough for Pearlie.
Yay!
No, that's all right.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. We will be back with more music from our artists in the studio, including the music of Somerset, Kentucky's Pearlie Jenkins, coming up next on WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington Community Radio. Great set. That was great. Great.
Johnny works for Norfolk Southern, comes in here, has a beer, then he has another and another and another till his whole world looks just fine. He says, when I get up, don't let me fall, and don't tell I'm here if no lady calls. Finishes his evening with a trooper, I walk in the line. You know he comes in here and pours out his problem, beer after beer, as if I could solve them, but it sounds like a problem I'd like to have. But he just keep crying on and on, drinking his beer, playing sad old songs. I just step back from the bar and laugh. He got a trailer sitting off of the old highway, a nice dog and yard where the kids can play. Pick up in the drive, I mean, how good can life be, all? He got an old John Deere that runs real nice, an old lady that's only cheated on him twice, man. Some people just can't handle prosperity. You know, some people just can't handle prosperity. You know, too much success will ruin a man. That's why I'm pacing myself, just doing what I can. I don't want to wind up with too much pride. Go on, line up and sign up before you make your mind up. Either way, one day you turn around and wind up looking at greener grass from the other side. Like Johnny got a trailer sitting off of the old highway, a nice doggy yard where the kids can play. Pick up in the drive, I mean, how good can life be? He got an old John Deere and he runs real nice. An old lady that's only cheated on him twice, man. Some people just can't handle prosperity. You know, some people just can't handle prosperity. Like Johnny got a trailer sitting off of the old highway, a nice doggy yard where the kids can play. Pick up in the drive, I mean, how good can life be? He got an old John Deere and it runs real nice. An old lady that's only cheated on him twice, man. Some people just can't handle prosperity. You know, some people just can't handle prosperity.
We are back, and you just heard the music of Pearlie Jenkins. Let's welcome Pearlie to the show, everyone.
So, Pearlie, what's the name of the song that you just sang for us?
Prosperity.
Oh, yeah? And what's the story behind that?
Well, I used to tell this big, long story about it because it was about a friend of mine and some stuff that he was going through, and then he got a little upset with me. So now I usually just say, the following song is a work of fiction. Any similarities between actual persons or events is purely coincidental and unintentional.
You're going to Dick Wolf it?
That's what I was thinking, too.
How do the songs of fiction differ from the songs of reality?
There's
or
no
prosperity?
such thing as fiction. Everything I say is true, whether it happened or not. You know.
Yeah, there's some moment of truth.
Yeah.
In it. And you and I hang out a lot sometimes.
Right, we do.
And we're Somerset buddies.
We have a good time.
We have a good time, and then we sit and talk to each other, and we're like, "Oh, did you write that song that I told you about hateful women?"
No. Every time I do, I'm like, the pressure's on with that now. Like, if I had come across that line by myself, I'd have wrote that 20 times. But because you're involved, every time it comes to fruition, I'm like, but you're going to have to play that for her. And no, that's not going to do it.
Because I'm a hateful woman?
So that's great. Because I want to impress you.
Oh, you ain't going to impress me. It's already done.
Rachel said one night, I don't trust a woman that ain't a little... We're always stealing lines from each other. She goes, I don't trust a woman that ain't a little bit hateful. And I'm like, oh, you know, that's going to have to show up in a Pearlie Jenkins song.
I would be... I mean, that's the thing. It's just because you even thought about what I said to put in a song. That is... there's no pressure there.
No, that's a Pearlie Jenkins line. I mean... I'll give you credit for it once I get happy.
I just want liner notes. Just like Rachel was at the bar with me one night and said, I don't trust a woman that ain't just a little bit hateful.
Pearlie, what are you going to sing for us next?
I'm going to do Misquoting Jesus, if that's all right with everybody.
Okay, let's give it up for Pearlie Jenkins, everybody. And we also have Cody playing on this one as well.
This is part of the politically subversive part of the program. And Jesus said it's a dog-eat-dog world, and the market shall take care of itself. He said that somewhere between make jewelry and my name and think twice about who you want to heal. He must have said it just before he spoke of the poor and said, put their backs against the wall. He said, speaking of the poor, if they're still uninsured, to hell with them, it's their own damn fault. Or it might have been after he said you can't serve two masters, still want the 10 Commandments displayed. He said, America, you think you're close, closer than most, hey, but close only counts, and horseshoes and hand grenades.
Then he spoke to the master, said, get off your asses, you don't need me to tell you everything. Hey, just use some common sense and get off the fence, or else stop using my name. Stop using my name. Well, now maybe I'm wrong, but when it comes to throwing stones, I believe he said he without sin. But when I turn the TV on, what I learned about stones is he who throws the most stones wins. He must have said, get yourself some razor wire, build your walls a little higher. You gotta keep the riffraff out. And class war's a war we gotta win. There's no room here at the end, and some are just born to live without. Then he spoke to the master, said, get off your asses, you don't need me to tell you everything. Hey, just use some common sense and get off the fence, or else stop using my name. Use some common sense and get off the fence, or else stop using my name. Some common sense and get off the fence, or else stop using my name.
Where are some of your places that you like to hang out in Somerset? And tell me a little bit about Somerset and how it's influenced your music.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm so impressed with Somerset. I started playing there probably, actually getting back out and doing songs and stuff about 10 years ago, and coming from, I moved here from Nashville, and coming from that kind of cutthroat kind of situation to an area where everybody is so encouraging of everybody, and it's just such a family in Somerset. It was, and that's such a drive for you too. Is you find yourself, you're no longer that songwriter. You actually find yourself writing stuff and thinking, what's John New going to think of this, or what are your friends, and it's so inspiring to sit and do that, rather than, is this better than the guy that's going to show up and do before me at open mic on Douglas Corner, where your motivations have changed and all that good stuff. Of course, my hangout is Jarfly down there in Somerset. That's my family down there, but there's a lot of incredible places in Somerset. Friends is great.
But you said that, and that's what I find great there, is that I hang out with other people and we talk about music constantly. I know that we've been in the Waffle King till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's all we talk about is music, and that's all we talk about is writing. And I feel like that the family atmosphere, it cultivates writers.
Does. It really does.
It's like an incubation for good writers. And like, I am so incredibly honored to know you, because
right back at you.
Not only that, and then if you even say, like, I like that line, because you are a novelist. Poor Man's Summer.
I don't know if one novel makes you a novel.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. One time, it's all it takes, bub.
I did write a novel that a local publishing house was gracious enough to publish for me. It's Poor Man's Summer. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, The Market on Main in Somerset. John Fitzwater carries them for me there.
Tell us about this book. Like, what's this story? Can you kind of give us an abbreviated
it's set
version?
in the late 60s.
Okay.
The height of the Vietnam era. I think I started out to write a book about, here I go, getting all serious, about how wars are fought on the backs of the poor and things like that, and it kind of snowballed into a bigger idea, and a family and some brothers, and if you've, it's kind of like Cannery Row meets Appalachia. It's just the characters of that town and the nonsense they get up to and that sort of thing. I don't know.
I think you described it to me once as being on the road and making a bunch of bad decisions.
There is, yeah. There's a lot of I try to do this thing where I like to encourage people to offer grace before judgment, and there's a lot in that book to where if people are making bad decisions that we try to understand where they're coming from and why they made those decisions.
Okay, I'm ordering my copy tonight.
I've actually got one.
Oh, awesome! Even
That
better.
is,
It's the least I can do.
and
you.
that statement is
Literally.
something that I think you and I, that was when I was like, you're going to be my best friend. You don't know it yet, boy. But like, that's something that you and I share together. It's like, just because there's always a reason for the bad decision. So find something encouraging to help them through the bad decisions.
Right.
So.
Well, thank you. I will so enjoy reading that. I'm so glad to have you here today.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you, guys.
So, what do you have to share with us next, Pearlie?
It's kind of a rough year last year, and I wrote this song, so I'm going to end this on a down note, which is strange for me. But.
Anything can happen on Overtones, folks.
Let me learn to be still when still's the last thing I want to be. Or let it be what it will, cause that's what it's gonna be. And let me stand like a mountain with the strength to stand alone. And let me roll like a river over these stones. Well, let me laugh in the face of the trouble that I meet, and let me not forget bittersweet still is sweet, and let me float like a memory that rides in on the song, and let me roll like a river over these stones. Roll like a river over these stones. Oh, let me rest in the shade like an old yellow dog, while the decisions I've made all fade like the fall. Let me forget how love can cut to the bone. Let me roll like a river over these stones. Let me roll like a river over these stones. Let me roll like a river over these stones. Thank you.
Thank you, Pearlie.
Thank you.
Rachel and I will be back with more music from our artists in the studio, including the music of, guess what, Somerset, Kentucky's Donovan Howard this time. Coming up next on WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington Community Radio, after these messages. Excellent. Excellent. That was a good set. Awesome.
Well, I never thought I'd ever get caught until I heard those sirens wail. And I pulled a gun on that old man, grabbed the cash, and ran like hell. Out to the truck where Jenny was waiting, 8 months along at the time. I could tell right away by the look in her eyes I'd never be worth a dime. But a desperate man is a dangerous man when there's nowhere left to turn. So I did what I did and never looked back. Sure was a long, hard lesson to learn. Sure been a long, hard lesson to learn. Sure was a long, hard lesson I've learned. Now we took off like a bullet from a gun, like any wild thing would do. And Jenny was screaming at the top of her lungs, blue lights in the rear view. Until we got shut down on some dead-end street with nowhere left to hide. Policeman put me in that car, told her everything would be just fine. But a desperate man is a dangerous man when there's nowhere left to turn. So I did what I did and never looked back. It sure was a long, hard lesson to learn. Sure been a long, hard lesson to learn. Sure was a long, hard lesson I've learned. One you don't know the prison to teach you. Just keep your head down, son, and play cool. Went in a wild-eyed boy with a chip on my shoulders, and came out knowing God still loves a fool. But a desperate man is a dangerous man when there's nowhere left to turn. So I did what I did and I never looked back, but sure been a long, hard lesson to learn. Sure was a long, hard lesson to learn. Sure been a long, hard lesson I've learned. Thank you.
That was just fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh.
We are back, and you are listening to WLXU 93.9 FM, and you just heard from the marvelous music of Donovan Howard. Let's welcome Donovan to the show, everyone.
I love that song because I love the Bonnie and Clyde theory of songs, and that's amazing. Do you want to tell us what the name of that one is?
A hard lesson to learn.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like Pearlie. Well, I'm opposite of Pearlie, I guess. He said everything he tells is the truth. I'm a natural liar. I love songs about stuff that I haven't lived, but I guess somebody's lived it. It's come from a newspaper.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everybody's lived that. I'm looking for that, so let's go rob a bank. So your first time guest on Overtones?
Yes, first time here.
And you've played on Red Barn stage?
Got to play Red Barn last August. roughly somewhere in there.
Cool. And how did the Twisted Cork go?
Fabulous. It was free hot dog night. And the only thing better than free hot dog is quarter hot dog night at the Legends game over in Lexington. But free hot dogs is better than a quarter. So
Yeah.
tonight will be epic, I guess.
Right, yeah. So I heard it was standing room only.
Standing room only.
Yeah.
Jonathan New was there. And
I know.
he brought his band up. It was a great time. Me and Cody rocked the house. Had a blast.
Yeah. Brother Cody's going to be playing with you.
Mr. Meece, Cody Lee,
Yeah.
in the house.
Nice.
And so tell us what inspires you to write things, since it's a lie, and that's the thing I look for. I love Bonnie and Clyde songs, so like what inspires you to...
I'm always looking, and I'm always writing. It's like anything. The more I do it, the easier it comes. So I make a conscious effort to write daily to something, So sometimes it just rolls out. I don't know where it comes from. Then I have to backtrack and think, oh, well, I read that one thing 6 months ago or 10 years ago. Or
I told you in the green room that the first time I ever saw you was actually at an open mic in Irvin.
Yeah.
And you played All the King's Horses.
Yeah.
And I told you that, like, that's something near and dear to me, when people drop things that are so simple that you've heard it all your life that it makes you think about it in a different way.
I held that for a long time because I knew I was going to use it. Mm-hmm. There was something I wrote the other day, and I can't remember the line now, but I'd held it for years. I've been holding on this just to use this one line. I wrote a whole song around this one line, but it's something that just hits you in the face at the time, so I put it in my pocket and carried it around for a while.
Right, and I love that, because there are multiple hooks in songs, and like if it's just that one line that you hold on to forever, but that's the one that I was like, there's this beast of a man on stage singing such a beautiful
song. What are you
song.
talking about? I'm like 5'3", like 119, soaking wet.
I'm sorry, but you belong on Game of Thrones. Like, you're a mountain of a man. Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah, mountain of a man and a mountain of a songwriter for sure.
I like songs that hit you in the face. Like you're listening and that sounds really good. Whoa, what did you just say? Where did that come from? John Moreland's good at that.
Yeah, you're
Punch in the
absolutely
throat.
right. Yeah,
I
love it.
Punch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, figuratively. I don't want a throat punch for you or John Moreland. And so, where have you been listening locally in the state of Kentucky?
I've been pretty busy. I've been trying to stay busy in the cold months.
I think everybody's getting cabin fever and restless.
We've been down to Jarfly, and I went all the way to Harlan one night and played a open mic.
Right, and Tyler is doing that.
Yeah, it's a great venue. He's working hard. He was so ashamed the night I got there because attendance was down and the Cats was playing. And I'm like, that's
what musicians do.
It's 19 degrees and the Cats are on. There's not a lot of reason for people to leave the home, but he was gracious to me. Give me 30 minutes, and I played a packed house with about 8 people. But it could have been 1,000. It didn't matter. They all was listening to every word I said, which is perfect for a songwriter.
Right. Yeah, I was kind of worried about that when I showed up there, but because I don't travel to Harlan very much.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
He has an open mic on Tuesday
nights, yes.
On Tuesday nights. And so Wednesday, you're going to do a writer's session at Austin City?
Yeah, I'm back in Austin City. I haven't been there since last year. We done part of that Highwayman tribute.
I was there, honey. Yes. Yeah. All my fangirl crushes were there, so I was just like, I need to be there.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So Donovan, what do you have to share for us next?
Well, it's tough. I made a list and changed it 3 times. I think I'm going to sing a brand new song I wrote last week or something.
Outstanding.
It's called In Vain, or Not in Vain.
Let's give it up for Donovan Howard, everybody.
White men came into this land 500 years ago, running from a tyrant over on a distant shore. And they swore they came in peace, searching for a better life. Then they took it like a thief in the night. So Let my cries ring out once again. Let's beat the drums all across this land. For my father's father's father and the elders who were slain. Let them know that their death is not in vain. They tried to kill our seed back in 1831. Pulled us from our homes and the land which we were born. And they call it relocation after 15,000 years. The soul became this lone trail of tears. So let my cries ring out once again. Let's beat the drum in my heart with my hands. For my children's children's children and all who were slain. Let them know that their death was not in vain. Let my cries ring out once again. Let's beat the drums all across this land. For my father's father's father and those who were slain. Let them know that their death was not in vain. That sucked the air out of the room, now didn't it?
I love it.
I do
Sorry.
too. It's speechless.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even get the first one because I love the first one so much. I was just like, over here drooling. It's okay. I love music. And I'm not ashamed about it.
So we've talked to him about Harlan, but I've also seen you at the Somerset open mic.
Oh,
with
yeah.
some locally
I
open
forgot,
mic.
We
And
played out at Friends.
yeah.
Got to do a songwriters round down there, and of course open mics on Thursday nights at around 8, I think, 8 p.m. It's family friendly; any age can come. It's they've got a sectioned off room. You can have a drink or a pop or water, or get something to eat and listen to some really good music.
Yeah, and Rachel, let me ask you, what do you like about Donovan's songwriting style?
Have I not drooled enough over
Yeah,
it?
right?
Well,
we're both just sitting here like mesmerized.
yeah. Oh, like I said, I met him the first time, and I tend to be a little creepy with other songwriters that I really, really like, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Rachel. You know all my beardos," and he's like, "Yeah, I know them." But I remember him being on stage, and he had such a commanding presence, and his song styles were so. I love a story behind things.
Yeah.
So I love your themes on stuff. Even though you say you're lying about them, I think there's a little bit of truth in every
Well,
lie.
I suppose there is a little bit of truth in everything I say. But I used to play, and people would come up and say, I'm so sorry that you lost a child. I never lost a child. Or I seen about having been married more than once, and I've had the same wife for 32 years. And you know, they just really think that everything you write is the truth. So now I give a good disclaimer before every show.
I also want to talk about your voice and the way that your voice translates those songs to people, because I'm just sitting here listening to the dynamic in it, and that's like one of my things that I talk about a lot with other people is that when you're selling your song to the crowd, you need to kind of believe it. And so, yeah, I mean, you're a hell of a liar. So
yeah, I would agree with
That's not
that.
the first time I've heard that.
Right. And,
We've got all walks of life here
I'm
today.
sitting here listening to your voice and just and the dynamic and the heartbreak and some of just the tones that you use in it, and it's amazing. I love it.
Just lay it out there, Just lay it out there and let it fall where it falls.
Right.
So
I think you believe your lies a little bit.
Oh, I definitely believe my life.
She's on to something. So what do you have to share for us last? Is
we'll
it a
try
heartbreaking one?
No,
or?
I'm going to try to pick the room up a little bit. We'll do a new one. Me and Cody played it a couple times last weekend. And it's a band song. I've done a demo on it so far. And it's I've been trying to branch out and not do the same old stuff, so I can write a stone country style song or kind of a bluegrass. In my mind, that's what it's supposed to sound like. With this big bass voice, very seldom does it come out bluegrass. Yeah. But anyway, this is a little different. It's called Oh, He's Cool. That's right. He's feeling pretty fly in a 1973 Pontiac Catalina with crushed velvet seats. Got the stereo bumping out a little bit of Kathmandu. He ain't right, he ain't wrong, brother, he just cool. Well, his mama's little baby, daddy thinks he's lazy. He just says he's misunderstood. Yeah. Said he never wanted to be somebody else's tool. All the girls love him the first time they meet him, but the boys think he's just a fool. He ain't right, he ain't wrong, no, he just cool. Cruising back and forth on Main Street every night. Got that high karate on and chain smoke and Lucky Strikes. He's the world's greatest lover, got the bumper sticker for the proof. No, he ain't right, he ain't wrong, honey, he just cool. Yeah, his mama's little baby, daddy says he's crazy, he just thinks he's misunderstood. Well, he went away to college, but said he never wanted to be somebody else's tool. Every girl loves him the first time they meet him, but the boys that think he's just a fool. He ain't right, he ain't wrong, honey, he just cool. Yeah, all the girls love him the first time they meet him, but the boys that think he's just a fool. He ain't right, he ain't wrong, honey, he's just cool. Well, he ain't right, he ain't wrong, no, he's just cool. Something like that.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Donovan. And we will be back to talk more with Cody Lee Meece, and he's going to perform some of his introspective songs for us here on Overtones, hosted by Renee Collins and Rachel Crowe on WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington Community Radio, coming up next after the break.
I remember being a young boy when Mama and Daddy, they dropped me off at the first place that I called home, the place where I learned to crawl. But sometimes they'd leave me there for a week or two, but I didn't mind, 'cause all I had to do was eat a bowl of pinto beans and play in the yard with the dogs. Mama grabbed the checkerboard, and for hours, Lord, we get lost. I guess I imagined she'd always be right by my side, but in order to live, Lord, I guess you've gotta die. And it makes me sad, and it makes me lonely. I don't know where I'm gonna hang my hat. Everybody keeps trying to tell me that home is where the heart is at, but my heart's long gone and I'm never gonna get it back. I'm never gonna get it back. I remember the funeral, Lord, I didn't know what to say. I just hung my head in my hands to pass the time away. But when they wrote her out, oh, I nearly hit my knees. I just looked to the sky, wondering why, and begging, please, now can't you bring her on back home? Me and Papa, Lord, was sick and tired of being alone, but that Cadillac rolled away with something, left me feeling like a boy with nothing to lose, Lord. And it makes me sad, and it makes me lonely. I don't know where I'm gonna hang my hat. Everybody keeps trying to tell me that home is where the heart is at, but my heart's long gone and I'm never gonna get it back. I'm never gonna get it back. I go back to that little trailer in the country. I hit the door and things, they just ain't the same. I wish that I knew what to tell Papa, what I could do to ease the pain. And I see him wipe his eyes in a bit of frustration, but I know exactly what's going on. The rest of his life ain't nothing but waiting The only love that he's ever known is gone. And it makes me sad, and it makes me lonely. I don't know where I'm gonna hang my hat. Everybody keeps trying to tell me that home is where the heart is at. But my heart's long gone and I'm never gonna get it back. I'm never gonna get it back. Yeah, it makes me sad and it makes me lonely. I don't know where I'm gonna hang my hat. Everybody keeps trying to tell me that home is where the heart is at. But my heart's long gone and I'm never gonna get it back. I'm never gonna get it back. I'm never gonna get it back. Yeah, I'm never gonna get it back.
Rachel and I are over here sobbing.
Every time I hear the song,
me
it's
too.
my favorite one. And every time I hear it, I cry like a little baby.
It's hard to
and I'm crying right now. I don't
Such
know.
a great song.
So why don't you tell the folks what the name of this song is and what the story is behind it so they can cry too?
So yeah, the song's called Long Gone. When I was a kid, I was raised in a pretty rough trailer park in Eubank, and my mom and dad were drinking and drugging and going to clubs and stuff, so I didn't have much time for us kids, and we were pretty much split between mom's parents, you know, and dad's parents, you know, grandparents on each side. And I was fortunate, I think, you know, to have been placed with my grandma and grandpa, Gary Meece and Betty Meece. And anyway, you know, they kind of, without them, I don't know where I would have wound up. You know, probably like most people in the town we come from, they wind up on crystal methamphetamine in and out of prison, you know. And anyway, my mama, she passed away from cancer February 18th, 2014. And it, for me, was really like losing a mother. And I tried to write a song while she was in hospice, and nothing felt right. And then when she passed about a week later, I ended up writing this song, and it was kind of, it's my way of telling the world, like, you know, you guys, you really missed out on something special. You know? And so it's just a way of sharing who she was, I guess.
I remember we did a singer-songwriter round together, and you played that song, I Can't Stop. And,
me neither.
And I had to walk out because I'm like, I'm going up next. I never heard it. This is the first time you pulled it out, I think, for, you know, a crowd and things. And then my dad comes with me to a lot of my shows, and I walked outside, and then I see Dad, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I can't handle Cody right now. I can't handle him. And so anyway, I know how I describe your performances, which is like a circus and the 4th of July all rolled into one. How do you describe your performances and your performing style and your writing style?
Overcompensation. No, I mean, and I say that half jokingly, but I don't know. I have such an odd perception of myself in general. For me, it's, I don't know, like any musician, I think it's, you know, woe is me. And in my performance, it's kind of like the, hey, if I have a down moment or you see me not being the life of the party, if I seem a little anxious or pissed off, you know, here's why.
It makes me sad and it makes me lonely. I don't know where I'm gonna hang my hat.
So before someone, you know, wants to say, well, you know, you seem a little bit off, or man, you're a little weird, well, you know, I've seen some rough roads, man. I mean, and you know, we all have. So hopefully, I've got a song that not only can I say here's where I've been, but you can hear it and say, oh, you know, yeah, I've been there. You know, I kind of get that. You know, so I don't know. It's trying to say why I'm sad, but hey, maybe you have been too.
And I love the phrasing that you use on some stuff, because my dad and I write together, and we actually, of course, like his favorite is Sunshine Daydream.
Right. Yeah.
And I love the fact that you embody this. I don't know. This is your person. Like, you're just such you're an enigma. I mean, it's so hard to describe who you are, but I love your phrasing on things, because I think you and I phrase a lot of the same way, just even when we talk to each other about stuff. And you have a line in it. It's like, been drinking, so I guess I can't walk that line.
Oh yeah.
In the way that you write your stories and the imagery that you use in it, I just love it.
Yeah, I found a half smoked pack of smokes and a half drank bottle of drink. Well, I'm so far gone these damn days, I can't hardly think. My heart breaks, memory broke, and I retangle my tangle mind. Lord, and I never was one for walking drunk, so I still can't walk that line. What does it mean? Find love's true. Yeah, how does it feel when you love another and the other's in love with you? Won't you tell me, please? Lord, I gotta know. Yeah, how to ride a cage filling in your bones, where you find yourself a lover and you ain't alone. Yeah, the rain's all gone, ain't nothing but a butter. You gotta set arms waiting on you, wanna call sweetheart. Tell me, what does it mean, yeah? Till I drown, and I can't find my way back up. Lord, He knows I love to find the words to say, but I can never say enough. What does it mean? My love's true. Oh, how does it feel when you love another and the other's in love with you? Won't you tell me, please? Lord, I gotta know. Yeah, how to ride a cage filled in your bones, where you find yourself a lover and you ain't alone. Yeah, the rain's all gone, ain't nothing but a puddle. You gotta set arms waiting on you, wanna call a sweetheart. Tell me, what does it mean, yeah?
So, I'm a fan. I don't know if you noticed that or not. But what can other fans expect from you when you play?
Probably lazy honesty, I'll call it, because I've always just envied, natural, as Donovan calls it, natural liars. People that can write these songs that, it's almost like a fairy tale. It takes you to a different place, and to be able to write something like that. But I've always been so, I don't even know if it's selfish, but just you can expect brutal honesty. If I've been a bit of a d-bag, I'll admit it in a song.
Well, you're hard-headed, and you learn the hard way.
It's awful. It's truly awful. But you're right.
But that makes really good songs, and you write excellent songs because you're hard-headed. I'm just glad that you can self-reflect and write, because it's truly a gift.
Well, yeah. I'm not proud, but I'm not ashamed. It's kind of the way I generally carry myself.
And it's exactly how you should live. So, what are some of the other musicians that you love around Kentucky?
Well, I'm lucky enough to be friends with my favorites, because I used to follow these guys around. All being from Somerset, I used to follow them around and just can I play with you guys? Can I play with you guys? I'm sure John and Pearlie can remember me dragging my guitar around and just bugging the absolute piss out of them. So John being one of my favorites, Pearlie being a huge favorite of mine, Kevin Dalton. Like I say, I'm lucky to Donovan. I'm lucky to be involved with my favorite writers. You, of course, I don't get to play with you much, but whatever.
I love you anytime you come.
You're my big sister. Lucky enough, all these people that I love so much and admire, I get to be close to, and that's payment in its own. And it's just awesome.
This seems like a great place to end this edition of Overtones episode number 43, appropriately titled Singing Between the Lines. And I would like to thank all of our guests, Cody Lee Meece, Jonathan New, Pearlie Jenkins, and Donovan Howard, and all of you in our audience for making a choice to listen locally today. Until next week, this is Renee Collins
and Rachel Crowe,
working in concert each and every week to bring you the best this great state of Kentucky has to offer music fans, reminding you that where words fail, music speaks.
Have a great weekend filled with music, family, and lots of love.
Listen locally.
Goodbye, everyone.
Kentucky gal, and now I Kentucky. I was born a Kentucky gal, and I'll die Kentucky proud. Got bluegrass running through my veins. Grew up on Appalachian way, living love in a small town. I'll always be Kentucky proud. This bluegrass state is my home. It's one place I'll never outgrow. Redbirds and fields of gold, simple beauty, wealth untold. There's nothing like that mountain air. City life just can't compare. Big bonfires and an old hayride, gravy biscuits and my chicken fried. I was born a Kentucky gal, and I'll die Kentucky proud. Got bluegrass running through my veins. Grew up on Appalachian way. It's a part of our history. Take a walk on the Bourbon Trail. There's nothing like barrel